First off, let me play a few videos to give you an idea of what we dealing with when we talking about Floyd Money Mayweather, right? So let's pull up a couple of these videos, so you can get an idea of what we talking about. So let's start here.
Crazy. People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know I'm gonna stay in my lane. I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault. When I go on vacation for 30 days, I take 30 watches with me. But you know what? What's crazy is this. If we add 10 more days, I take 10 more watches. But then I say, fuck it. If I want to bring out the one and only, then I bring out the watch that costs 18 million. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do for you motherfucking haters today? I'm gonna go fuck off $50,000 because I ain't got shit else to do. Money made all motherfucking day. Crazy.
Shit. I'm pretty sure I'd be upset too if I was somebody else. I'd be mad at Mayweather too. How the fuck for 29 years or 30 years you keep getting money like this? I'd be mad too. Shit. I'd be hating on Mayweather too. Continue to hate. You know, people only talk about winners. I'm a winner, so continue to talk. Keep the bread fresh.
So let's go back because I got to do this one.
You know this one? Crazy.
I got to do this one by one because there's too much ignorant shit to try to. I can't watch all of the ignorant videos and then try to give you commentary on it as a whole. I gotta chop it up. I gotta address it one by one, right? So let's start with this video. First of all, I don't think anybody is in Floyd's business, or at least at that time, nobody was really trying to be in his business. He just wanted an excuse to show everybody how many watches he had. Let's keep it real. Yo, all these haters is always worried about what I'm doing and always in my business. Ain't nobody worried about you, Floyd. Nobody's thinking about you, bro. You feel me? The only reason you in the news right now is because of recent developments. But back then, wasn't nobody checking. So you just wanted an excuse to show everybody your watches, right? Instead of just being normal and just coming on camera and saying, hey, everybody, my name is Floyd Mayweather, and I have an extensive watch collection, and I just wanted to show you guys some of the watches that I had. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. You could have just came on camera and said, hey, everybody, I want to show y'all my watch collection because I'm really proud of it. Check it out, right? That's all you had to do. But no, you got to pose it as if somebody's hating on you or somebody's talking shit to you to give you the excuse to show your watches, right?
People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know I'm gonna stay in my lane. I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault. When I go on vacation for 30 days, I take 30 watches with me. But you know what? What's crazy is this. If we add 10 more days, I take 10 more watches. But then I say, fuck it. If I want to bring out the one and only, then I bring out the watch that costs 18 million.
So let's pause right there. Let's pause right there. Guess how much money he could probably get for those watches if he was down bad. If he was down bad and needed to get some cash, how much money y'all think he could get for those watches? How much money do y'all think he could get for those watches? Do you think he could get half of what he paid for them? Do you think he could get half? The only way he would get a decent price for those watches is if somebody was collecting watches and they just wanted to have a watch that used to belong to Floyd Mayweather. That's the only way. That's the only way. If he auctioned those watches off and people was like, yo, I'm going to go to the auction because I want one of Floyd's watches. That's the only way. But here's the funny thing about this. The funny thing about this is if he did an auction, do you realize that, like, for instance, my watch, let's say that my watch was let's say that this Apple Watch, let's say that I had it bust down. Let's say that I put diamonds all over it and shit, right? Let's say that I spent $1 million putting diamonds around a freaking Apple Watch. And then I was down bad and I needed to sell it. So let's say I posed it as an auction and said, okay, we're auctioning off Angryman stuff. Guess what? I could get the same price at the auction that I would get whether it had diamonds in it or not. In other words, if Floyd had an auction to sell his watches and the hook or the selling point is that it used to belong to Floyd Mayweather, it could have been a Timex. It could have been a Swatch. It could have been an inexpensive watch, because the only reason the collectors are buying it is because of his name, right? That's it. And that's why, even if he had to sell those watches, that's why this is goofy. Bruh, he said, let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. How much did he say this watch was cost him? Because the damn sure ain't worth that.
But then I say, fuck it. If I want to bring out the one and only, then I bring out the watch that costs $18 million.
18 million. Now, that's what, notice he said the watch that cost 18 million. I need you to pay attention to what he said. He said the watch that cost 18 million. Just because it cost 18 million don't mean it's worth 18 million. See, I need you to pay attention to the difference between ignorant niggas with money and people who have wealth. If a person is savvy, if a person is business savvy, financial savvy, if he brings out his watch collection, you know what he's going to say? This watch has been appraised at X amount of money. And this watch has been appraised at X amount. He's not going to tell you how much he paid for the watch. He's going to tell you how much the watch is worth. See, Floyd never tells you how much his watches are worth. He just tells you how much he paid for them. See, that's ass backwards thinking. That's ass backwards thinking. It's not about how much when you look at jewelry and watches and things of that nature, things that are supposed to appreciate over time. You don't talk about how much you paid for it. You talk about how much it's worth. You talk about how much it's appraised at, right? The fact that he has a watch right there that he claims he paid $18 million for, I'm praying to God that he's lying. I'm praying to God that he's lying, right? Praying to God, because if he's not lying, he's one of the dumbest guys in existence. If he's not lying, he's one of the dumbest guys in existence, right? Yo, shout out to my man Richie. Zoom to Thailand. He said, Angry Man, my guy, I got 10 on your next watch or cigar. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Richie doing his thing out there in Thailand. Look, bro. Floyd is an idiot, bro. And look, I'm not saying that because I know him personally. I'm saying that because of what I see him doing. What I see him doing is idiotic. Okay? The amount of money he spent for all of those watches, and here's the other thing, right? Because we got to wonder if those watches are even worth that. And the reason why is because, let's be real, there's certain jewelers that have been getting over on rappers. And let's be clear, when it comes to the way Floyd spend his money, he's like a rapper. When it comes to being flashy, he's like a rapper. So I know they saw his goofy ass coming a mile away, because in his mind, the status is how much he's paying for shit. It's not its exclusivity. It's not its value. It's how much he's paying for the shit. I bet you any amount of money that some of them watches he got up there got moistenites in it, and he don't even know it. I bet you any amount of money that some of them watches that he got up there got moistenites in it, and he don't even know it, bro. I guarantee he don't even know it. Like, real talk. But let's go to the next video. Now, let's pause right here. You explain to me, what is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of sitting on a private jet with that amount of money and counting it? What is that purpose? What is the purpose of this other than to be flashy? What is the purpose of this other than to try to make people jealous or try to offend people? What is the purpose of this? Will you ever see Warren Buffett on a private jet counting wads of cash? Will you ever see Jerry Seinfeld on a private jet counting wads of cash? Will you ever see Mark Zuckerberg on a private jet counting wads of cash? Will you ever see any of these super rich guys sitting on a private? You're not even going to see, bro, you're not even going to see 50 Cent on a private jet counting cash like that.
You know, this one right here cost me $4.8 million. And you know, I'm loving.
So he's talking about a car, 4.8 million. So 4.8 million, then you got 18 million for the watch, right? So already right there, you're looking at what, 22.4 million? Now, when I started the show, somebody in the chat was like, Floyd didn't have no $1 billion. I didn't say he had $1 billion. I said he spent $1 billion. That's what I said. That's what I said. When you openly admit that you spent $18 million on a watch, I believe Floyd has spent $1 billion. Why do I believe that? Because it's a known fact that Floyd has made $1 billion. He may not have $1 billion, but he has generated that much money. He's generated that much money.
In a retired life.
Okay.
You know, still making 7 figures a month for the rest of my life. Smart investments. So I really want to thank Al Heyman.
That's a beautiful car. So with all this, you making money like that, you got no reason to come out of retirement then, man, right?
I got the, I was 4.8, the watch about $2 million.
Okay.
You know, it's about.
Like, who asked him that? You know how tacky it is to tell somebody how much you paid for something? Who asked him how much his car was? Who asked him how much his watch was? Nobody asked him that.
1.250. I make it do what it do. I do a little bit.
Yes, sir. I think they definitely earned the right to call that money made in. Definitely.
Money me all day. You know.
Okay.
We call this breakfast. Everybody like breakfast. Now, everybody don't like breakfast. Some people like brunch. Some people like lunch. Some people like dinner. I like it all. And you already know what my name is. We're going to leave it at that. We call this breakfast.
Now, explain to me what the purpose of this is. Explain to me what the purpose of sitting courtside and counting money. I'll tell you why. So niggas can see you doing it. And keep in mind, this was recent. And so, in my opinion, this is him trying to convince everybody he's still good. I'm still good. Look, y'all, I'm still counting money. I'm still good. All of those other people that are there, sitting up there watching the game, they probably looking at him like, oh my God, this is the most ignorant individual I've ever seen in my life. Look at him. The level of ignorance is crazy. It's crazy. Now watch this. This is the one that takes the cake. This is the one that takes the cake, bro.
We got options. I got about 100 cars. But right here, we like to call this the Sweet 16. Lambo, Ferrari, Lambo, Maybach, a Maybach, whatever you want to call it. Of course, the McLaren.
This dude said he got 100 cars. Tell me again how much money he didn't spend? Between this dude's watch collection and the cars, how much money do you think he spent? Like, how much money do you think he spent? Like, let's be real. Let's be real.
Original McLaren. Bentley. Rolls. The Maybach truck or Maybach truck, the big boy 4x4. I got options. We got options. Money.
A billionaire now, right? You would be.
Money all day. You know, right here, the light million. Over there, coming up another million over there. Welcome me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life. Money all day. You know.
A billionaire now, right? You would be.
I've been made a billion.
Dang.
I think I've reached that was over 4 years ago.
Over 4 years ago, you reached $1 billion.
I think 1.2, over 1.2.
A billionaire.
Money all day.
A billionaire.
1.2. So if Floyd made $1 billion and he's currently in debt, don't that mean he spent $1 billion? To all of the individuals that want to come in here and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, it's simple math. It's simple math. If you've made $1 billion and you're currently in debt, don't that mean you spent $1 billion? Don't that mean you spent over $1 billion? Like, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If I don't know what I'm talking about, tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. If you made $1.2 billion and you're currently in the negative, that means you spent everything you made. And I don't even know why. Look, this is the crazy thing. You see Floyd flossing things. He said he got 100 cars. How much do you think? He just showed you numerous Maybachs, numerous Ferraris. We're talking about vehicles that cost $250,000. You saw his watch collection. You see, bro, how? If you think for 1 second, see, I'm going to tell you what the problem is. The problem is the average everyday person never sees that kind of money. So the average everyday, let's be real, the average everyday person thinks that if they get $2 million, they'll never go broke. Do you know how fast that money adds up? If you're out here buying shit the way he buys shit, if you're flying, let me tell you something. I heard a rich guy say this before. I heard a rich guy say that the fastest way to go broke if you're rich is to fly private all the time. Just that alone. Just flying private alone is enough to break your ass, is enough to have you looking crazy. So think about the fact that Floyd fly private. Think about all of the vehicles he buy. Think about all of the jewels he buy. Think about all of the cash he's walking around with, right? Because I'm going to keep it real with you. When you a dude that walk around like cash with cash like that, what you think he doing? You think he not handing it out? You think he not, oh, that's a light 10 stacks. Here you go. That's a, one of his homies or one of his family members or somebody he know. Oh, that's a light 10 right there. You can have that. That ain't nothing right there. That's nothing right there. That's just, it's like on Paper Soldiers when Kevin Hart was trying to impress Stacey Dash at the bar and he dropped his money and he's like, oh, that's nothing right there. That's just money. You could have that. That's a little light. That's a little light couple thousand right there. Like, he's one of those dudes that's trying his best to impress everybody, trying to floss, right? Hold on for a second. Nap with us said impossible to be broke with 11 Ferraris in his garage currently. He's pulling the 50 Cent to avoid that. This is what I mean by stupidity. This is what I mean by stupidity. Do y'all see now why niggas don't have wealth? Do you see now? Do you see now? This individual thinks having 11 Ferraris equates to wealth. First of all, when you look at, go back and look at the Janice Shut the F Up video with Drake. Go look at the Ferraris in that video. Those cars are collector's items. Not one of those cars that Floyd had in that garage, not one of them was a collector's item. Not one. Not one, not a single one. And I challenge anybody in here to tell me different. I challenge anybody in here to tell me different. All you doing is proving that you don't know shit about cars. I challenge anybody in here to tell me different. Name the car he had in that garage that was a collector's item. Said, why doesn't he have a luxury car business? Because he's an idiot. That's why. Because Floyd is not smart. He's not bright. It's not bright. Every last car that he had in that, look, you know the reason why he got 100 cars? Because he accumulated them over the years. And you know why he accumulated them? Because when it came time for him to get rid of them, he knew that getting rid of them, he was just going to take an L. So he said, I might as well just keep them. That's what happened. He probably accumulated those cars over the years. And when he tried to get rid of some of them or offload some of them, he realized, damn, I paid X amount of money for this car. But if I sell it, I'm taking a loss. I might as well just keep the car. Might as well just keep the car. And here's the thing that people don't realize. This is what people don't realize. This isn't the 80s. This isn't the 60s, the 70s, or the 80s. Why do I point that out? Because a Rolls Royce today ain't the same as a Rolls Royce in the 80s. Does anybody disagree with me? Does anybody disagree with me? A Rolls Royce in the 80s is not the same as a Rolls Royce today. A Rolls Royce today is not like, it doesn't have the same, it doesn't have the same prestige. It doesn't have the same social value. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Nowadays, if you buying a Maybach or a freaking, if you buy any car that costs more than $250,000, you're buying that car for one of two reasons. You're buying it because either you like that car a lot or you're trying to show everybody that you could spend that much on a car. Because that shit ain't going to hold its value. It's not. Like, it's not. Let me tell you something. I've thought about getting a second car. You know what kind of car I'm thinking about getting as a second car? Press 1 if y'all want to know what type of car I'm thinking about getting as a second car. Press 1 if you want to know. A Tesla. A Tesla. A freaking Tesla. It's like, I'm not, bro, even if I have the money to get a Maybach, I'm not getting one. Even if I have the money, even if I had the money to get a Maybach, a Rolls Royce, I'm not getting one. You know why? Press 1 if you want to know why. Press 1 if you want to know why. Even if I had the money to get a Maybach, I'm not getting one because Floyd got a few of them. That's right. That's the type of time I'm on. That's the type of nigga I am. I've seen too many ignorant ass rappers with Maybachs. Too many. Too many. And now I know Floyd got a few of them. No, Nope. I'm good. I'm good. Cause I don't want to be riding around in the same damn type of car that some of these ignorant Negroes, because here's the other thing too. I would never buy a Maybach or a Rolls Royce unless I can afford a driver. See, these ignorant niggas, they'll buy these cars and drive them themselves, not realizing that the point of a Maybach or a Rolls Royce is for you, the owner, to enjoy the back seat, to enjoy being chauffeured around. A Rolls Royce is not a car you're supposed to be driving yourself. A Maybach is not a car you're supposed to be driving yourself. Those are vehicles where somebody else is supposed to be driving you around. Somebody else is supposed to be chauffeuring you. But these ignorant niggas, they'll go buy these cars and they'll drive around in them. They driving them themselves and shit. And guess what? And I gotta say this. I gotta say this because if I don't say this, everybody's gonna, I gotta say it. Rich, successful, wealthy people that are non-black that have had wealth for generations, they see y'all driving those cars around and they think to themselves, oh my God, look at this ignorant fool. Because you are not acclimated to that social status. You don't know the rules. You don't know the rules. You don't know the rules. You're like an individual using a bidet as a damn water fountain. You're goofy as hell. You're goofy as hell. You're goofy as hell. And I guarantee you, there's a whole lot of cars that people will not buy because many of you fools have you've messed up the value of these vehicles. You feel me? But to get back to your boy Floyd Money Mayweather, right? Floyd, if we're being totally honest, because I'm going to run this down and some of y'all ain't going to like it, but I'm going to say it because it needs to be said. Remember when you were a kid and your mother or your father or your grandmother or your auntie, somebody in your family had some class. They were classy individuals, right? And whenever they saw somebody black doing some ignorant shit, they made it a point to call it out. They would say something to the effect of, you can tell when a nigga ain't used to having something. How many of y'all have heard that growing up? How many of you have heard somebody in your family say that about some ignorant Negro that got his hands on some money and just didn't know what the hell to do with it? You can tell when a nigga ain't never had nothing. Well, guess what? Floyd Money Mayweather is the epitome of that. I don't care that he's had money this long. Okay? Floyd still acts like a nigga that was broke yesterday and won the lottery today. I'm going to say that again. Floyd behaves like a guy that was broke yesterday and just got his lottery check today. Floyd Money Mayweather acts like Negroes in the hood with their tax refund check. And that's just the truth. If you took the phrase, you can tell when a nigga ain't used to having nothing. If that phrasing was in the encyclopedia or a dictionary, Floyd's picture would be next to it with him holding up a money phone to his ear. Bro, I've never in my life seen someone that is this ignorant when it comes to his money. I've never seen anybody like this. And I've been around kingpin drug dealers. I've been around all types of dudes. I've never seen nobody act like this. And it makes me wonder, what the hell is he compensating for? What in the hell? Bro, it's crazy. Something ain't right. Something ain't clicking. Something ain't clicking. And I know a lot of y'all gonna have an issue with me because y'all gonna be like, man, come on, why you gotta shit on the brother? You just mad he's successful. No, I'm not mad that he is successful. I'm not mad about that. I will never shit on anybody that's successful. But there's a difference between being successful and acting an entire damn fool. There's a difference, bro. There's a difference. When I watch Floyd and his antics, the first thing I think about is how bad he makes all of us look. That's the first thing I think about. I'm like, oh my God, there are some non-black people somewhere looking at this fool, and this dude is verifying and giving validity to every negative racial stereotype about black people as it pertains to them finally getting their hands on some money. Like, let's be real, bruh. Like, every ass ignorant thing that you could think of that somebody black would do the moment they get their hands on some real money, Floyd has done that shit, bruh. And he didn't just do the shit, he broadcast it when he did it. He went live. He went on social media and showed everybody, bruh. You're never gonna see Larry David sitting courtside at the Knicks game counting money. And I know what some of you gonna say, well, that's white folk. Why we gotta act like white folk? No, it ain't about acting like white folk. It's about acting like you got some damn sense. Let me tell you something. When you have a lot of money, you get to the level to where, look, when you young and you come from the hood and you struggling, you make a lot of money, you'll put a rubber band around it because you want to have a knot. You want everybody to see that you got paper like that. As you get older, as you mature, as you become more business savvy, right? You're not walking around with wads of cash. You're not walking around with, even if you got money in a safe at your house, it's in a safe at your house, hidden. And y'all got to forgive me because I'm a different breed. I don't even believe in telling niggas how much money I got because niggas love to count your pockets. Niggas love to count your pockets. I could be a millionaire and y'all would never know it. You would never know it because I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say it. If I hit a lick, if I come across a business deal that gives me a bunch of money, I'm not telling you about that. Because frankly, it's none of your business, right? But like this dude, he makes this everybody's business. And many of you want to say, oh, well, he's not broke. He's not going broke. He's not broke. Have you been paying attention? Have you been paying attention to what's been going on? See, a lot of y'all will say, okay, well, you know what? He's not broke. Somebody came in here and said he's not broke. He's just trying to avoid paying this. He's trying to pull a bankruptcy to avoid paying this, avoid paying that, blah, 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 blah. Check this out. That shit may work on everybody else, but it don't work on me. It don't work on me. You want to know the main reason I know he's in financial trouble? Press 1 if you want to know. It's very simple. Press 1 if you want to know why I know he's in financial trouble. Because he came out of retirement. Because he came out of retirement. There is never a bigger indication that you are in financial trouble than when you go into retirement and brag about the fact that you're retired. And then later, around the same time that there's rumors and allegations about your financial troubles, you just happen to come out of retirement. You just happen to start taking fights at your age, at this age. Like, let's be real. A boxer that has an undefeated record that retires, he wants to keep that record. He wants to maintain his legacy. The last thing you want to do is come out of retirement, mess around and catch a loss and be looking crazy. But again, I knew what time it was. When that nigga announced that his nickname was Money, I already knew what time it was. I said, oh, this is an idiot. That's the first thing that came in when they asked him, yo, what's your nickname? It ain't Pretty Boy Floyd. It ain't none of them creative names that you could come up with. Floyd Money Mayweather. My name is Floyd Money Mayweather. And my team is the Money Team. I said, yeah, this is an idiot. This is a moron. No creativity whatsoever. No creativity whatsoever. I said, bro, I'm not even gonna front. I'm not even gonna front. I just looked at him like, bro, you. And ever since then, like his antics. Oh my God, he makes black people look so bad. You remember? How many of you remember Undercover Brother? How many of y'all remember that movie? With Eddie Griffin, Dave Chappelle, numerous people. Y'all remember that movie? Remember the part of the movie when they was waiting on Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams was like this Colin Powell type figure, right? And they figured that he was going to run for president. They thought he was going to announce that he was running for president. And they're all sitting there waiting for him to announce that he's running for president. And he says, I'm opening up the General's Fried Chicken. Look out, Colonel. And the dude said, wait, General. So you're telling me that you're passing up an opportunity to be the president of the United States to open up a chicken joint, the general said, hey, look, my mama always told me that do what you know, and what I know is fried chicken. And Dave Chappelle was like, oh, like the moment he said that shit, he said, bro, my mom always told me to do what you know. And what I know is fried chicken. And bruh, Dave Chappelle was like, what the hell, bruh? It's like one of the moments where somebody says some shit that actually plays right into a negative stereotype. Like the moment they say it, you know there's some racist white guy somewhere laughing his ass off. Like just, I'm talking belly laughing. Like, bro, that's Floyd every time he gets on camera, bro. Every time he gets on camera and does some shit, I be sitting there like, come on, man. No, what? Not the money phone, bro. Why you putting the money up to your face, bro? Stop. What are you doing? And it'd be different if it was just some random ass rapper. It's Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is right up there as far as athletes, black athletes. He's right up there with Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods, whether you like him or not. And it's like, bruh, what are you doing? Somebody get his phone, bruh. Somebody take his social media away from him, fam. Nigga said, all I know is my mom always told me to do what you know, and the one thing I know is fried chicken. Like, what? Did you really just say that shit? Hold on, let me see if I can find that clip. Surrender, Colonel. Here comes the general. Hold on. Where the hell? That's not it. Where in the hell? Come on, man. Just show me the. Let's see. General's fried chicken. He said, I want you to try my chicken, that is. General's fried chicken is, bruh. And the 3-piece nappy meal. There was some gems in that movie. I don't care what nobody say. There was some gems in that movie. There was some gems in that one, and there was some gems in that second one that had Michael Jai White in it. But bruh, Floyd Money Mayweather, you feel me? He's bro, every time this dude gets on camera, he sets the black community back 500 years. Every time. It never fails. And you want to know what's crazy? What's crazy is when you look him in the face, you can tell he don't have a damn clue that he's doing it. He don't. That Negro don't see nothing wrong with what he doing, bro. He don't see the social implications of it. He is oblivious to it, bruh. He's oblivious to it. And instead of him just, let me stop flaunting, let me stop flossing, let me try to get my finances together or whatever. He don't know how to do that. That's why he came out of retirement and set up a fight, because that's what he did before. When the cash get low, he go get another fight. And y'all sitting here talking about some, yo, he ain't broke. Look, let me tell you something. I'm not saying that he don't own some shit. He probably has assets and all of that, right? But I'm going to tell you what his problem is, right? His problem is he probably ain't got no liquidity. That's probably his problem. He probably is asset rich but cash poor. You feel me? He got a bunch of shit and he refuses to downsize. He refuses to sell. He got it like he got to sell a bunch of his stuff and probably, you know, take a loss.
Right? You will be.
I've been made a band.
But if he did that, if he sold a bunch of his stuff and took a loss, he probably would be in good shape. He probably would be in better shape. But he don't want to downsize. And the reason why he don't want to downsize is because he doesn't want anybody to know that he's in financial trouble. This is the reason why he keeps coming on social media, flashing a bunch of money and all of that shit and all of that bullshit, right? And look, this is what people don't realize because a lot of people have never been rich. This is what you don't realize about somebody like Mayweather or anybody rich for that matter. They could be in financial trouble and still get their hands on cash. That's the part y'all don't get. Just because he's got a bunch of Ferraris in a garage, or just because he's got some houses, or just because he's got some jewelry, that don't mean he's not in financial trouble. See, this is what lets me know y'all really don't understand how money works. Y'all really don't. Just because you own a bunch of shit does not mean you're not in financial trouble. And the reason why is because if you own a bunch of shit, you have to maintain a bunch of shit. Owning means maintaining. Owning means maintaining. You own a bunch of shit, you got to maintain a bunch of shit. He got all them cars. Them cars got to be got to have insurance on it. Got to get oil changes, got to do this, got to do that, like all of that shit. I could only imagine how much it costs to maintain everything that Floyd has. I can only imagine. You feel me? Because I know how much it costs to maintain my shit. I know how much it costs to maintain my shit. And so for somebody like him, his shit got to be through the roof. You feel me? So when you got all of that stuff that you got to maintain, you've been retired, you don't have the same type of money coming in because the bulk of his money that was coming in was boxing. So if you don't have the same type of money coming in, because you got to think about it like this, Floyd got all of these things, all of these assets that he got to maintain, all of these properties that he got to maintain. He probably got family members that he take care of, all types of shit, bro. All kinds of shit. You feel me? So what probably was happening while he was retired is that money probably was drying up faster than he thought it was going to dry up. And so now he got to come out of retirement, you feel me, and go and look, keep in mind, this dude has had a habit. This dude has had a spending habit for what? The last 20, 30 years? What are we talking about? How long has he been doing this? Not to mention the fact, I bet you any amount of money. Watch this. Let me play this clip. I want you to hear this. Watch this. Where is the clip? Here we go right here. Because I'm going to show you what one of his other problems is. Listen to this.
I don't know no athlete in history. In history, 90 minutes, 750 million. You tell me who?
Athletically, nobody. It's not even close.
I don't knock football players, love football and love basketball more than boxing. That's all we watch in my home when we gambling. Because if you're not betting on a game, it's not even fun to watch.
See, niggas be telling on themselves. Niggas be telling on themselves. He said, if you're not gambling on a game, it ain't even fun to watch. I bet you any amount of money. Not only does this dude have a spending habit, but he got a gambling habit too. Now, you tell me, regardless of how much money somebody has, if you add a spending habit with a gambling habit, how quickly will you see somebody that's rich go broke? And see, some of y'all don't think you can go broke like that. Let me tell you something. You go to some of these casinos, you got tables that got a $10,000 minimum, $100,000 minimum. You got tables where dudes is betting 100,000 in one shot, and you think you can't go broke? Bro, you could run up a tab. You could go into a casino. You could be worth $15 million. Go into a casino on some spending ridiculously and come out of that mud busted and broke. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Ain't that why? Look, somebody said Offset Bruno Mars. Ain't that why Offset got shot? Ain't that why somebody shot him? Allegedly, for owing them some money? Like, what are we talking about? You said, and it's Floyd, so you know he got a tab. Bro, that Negro probably got markers all over Vegas. He probably, it's probably casinos right now waiting for him to pay back some shit. It's probably casinos in Vegas right now that's waiting on him to settle his tab. Like, let's be real. Every time he show up, they probably like, hey, Floyd, when you gonna settle your tab? You feel me? Oh, I got you. Cause see, the thing about it is when part of another reason why Floyd is always flossing his money, in my opinion, is because he's keeping up appearances. Because if you're the type of person that people know you can get your hands on that kind of money, they'll be willing to loan you money. They'll be willing to, give you a marker. They'll be willing to do all of that shit, right? Oh, yeah, he's good for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll do shit like that. So I'm just saying.
It's that time again. We going up.
It's time to read the super chats.
Shout out to High Tolerance, says salute AM. Well, the ninja just learned how to read a few years ago, but you'd hear MFers defending it, saying, stop hating, at least he's rich. Classic example of being surrounded by yes men. Facts.
That's that. We know energy.
Hey, look, I had an entire argument with a guy I know at the barbershop, at one of the barbershops I used to go to, about Floyd. And every time I get in, because when you're in the barbershop, you start arguing about athletes or whatever. The biggest argument's always about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Floyd Mayweather, right? So we in there going back and forth about Floyd Mayweather. And you know what the defense of Floyd has always been? At least he's rich. That's always the defense of Floyd Mayweather. And you know what I told him when he said that? As soon as he said, at least Floyd is rich, I said, let me ask you a question. When have you ever seen a Brinks truck following a hearse? What you mean by that? What you mean by that? What I mean by that is your money is never going to be your legacy. Your money is never going to be your legacy. Nobody is going to be at your funeral talking about some, yeah, I heard he paid his bills on time. I heard he had a great portfolio. That's, You're never going to see a Brinks truck following a hearse, because your legacy is about what you do, how you carry yourself, the effect you had on the world. It's never going to be about the money. The money only matters while you're living. The money only matters for you while you're living. The money might matter for your family members after you're gone, but for you, the money only matters while you're living. Once you're gone, the money doesn't matter as it pertains to you. What matters and what remains is who you were as a person, how you carried it, how you maintained, and all of that good stuff. You feel me? Shout out to JT, said, gotta support the homie. Angryman Stand, appreciate you. Shout out to Clarence for the membership. Shout out to Hollow Ninja, said Floyd Mayweather, just like every other idiotic rich person, is struggling with a demon called gluttony. Gluttony has destroyed many men. Am I right, AM? That's a fact. Shout out to Frankie, or Frank YCIV, said lottery check. Yep. Shout out to Hollow Ninja for the membership, said Floyd exhibition match in Greece got canceled. Shaking my head. Yeah. Shout out to the Diz, said when asked about the Gucci blackface scandal years ago, Floyd said he would continue his support for Gucci and didn't care about the boycotts. Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Bloodia, said Floyd thought he's too big to go broke. Besides, people forget people with real money just slip down a glass, not just in the gutter fast. Should have learned from Evander's example. Yeah, because like, look, Floyd is not going to be the first boxer to go broke, and he ain't going to be the last one. That's the reality. Floyd is not the first boxer to go broke, and he won't be the last one. Whether y'all like that or not, whether y'all agree with it or not, that's just what it is. You feel me? But I want you to watch how a man reacts when the rumors start to fly. Floyd Mayweather sitting courtside at an NBA game pulling out blocks of cash is not a man simply flexing his paper. That's a man trying to convince everyone that he still got it. Real wealth doesn't show up to an NBA game with duffel bags full of cash, sit in their floor seats and start pulling out money for the cameras. The flex is the confession, whether y'all want to agree with it or not. Let's be crystal clear. Let's be clear about what we're talking about. Because this isn't some broke dude that never had no money. Floyd Mayweather has earned over $1.2 billion in that ring. I need you to let that sink in for a second. If you've earned that kind of money and then there's rumors and news reports that you're in financial trouble, you got some splaining to do. Real talk. He was the first fighter in history to crack the $1 billion club, sitting next to Jordan and Tiger Woods. That's the part that makes this a tragedy instead of a joke. He had everything he needed to never worry again. He could have took a portion of that money and been good forever. But see, here's the lesson that the culture refuses to learn. Floyd is the textbook example. Income is not wealth. Making $1 billion is not the same as keeping $1 billion. Wealth is what's still standing when the checks stop coming in. See, a lot of people always ask, what's the difference between being rich and being wealthy? Being wealthy means that when your income stops, you continue to be good. There's people that's rich, but guess what? The moment the money stops coming in, they're screwed. Floyd had historic income and built almost no quiet, boring, durable wealth. He built a costume. And if we're being totally honest, he spent all this time buying nigger trinkets, things that won't mean anything after the money stops coming in. It's like those watches and a lot of this stuff. He's not going to be able to sell it and get anything for it. That's just the reality. But let's be clear about something. I don't have a problem with a man enjoying his money. Y'all already know that. Buy the car, buy the watch, buy whatever you want. You earned it. And never let anybody make you feel bad about your purchases. But 100 luxury cars when you can only drive one? Are you serious? Like, that's not success. That's a bad habit that's going to eventually catch up with you. That's not a man building a life. That's a man trying to fill a hole inside of himself. That's a man compensating for something. And ultimately, I believe that's a man that needs therapy, if we're being totally honest. And before anybody tells me I'm hating, look at everything he's been doing and this, that, and the third, all I'm going to say to you is this. Since you see all of the money he's flossing, since you see all of the business plans he claims he's doing, you got to also notice the other news. These rumors about tax liens and unpaid taxes and how he just caught a charge over a $200,000 bad check. He's in court right now suing people, claiming hundreds of millions of his own money is missing and unaccounted for. You don't lose track of $300 million when you actually have it. You lose track of it when it's already gone. Real wealth doesn't have to liquidate. So explain to me why he's selling his mansions. Why is he getting rid of his jets? When a man starts selling the trophies he used to flex, that's not a man pivoting his portfolio. That's a man raising cash. There's a difference, and you already know it, even if y'all don't want to admit it. But this ain't new. This is a rerun. We've seen this movie before and still didn't learn from it. Still, the culture doesn't learn. This is Dame Dash on steroids. Same arrogance, same I'll always be able to make more, same belief that the money machine never turns off. The machine's always is always on in their minds. But the reality is the machine always turns off. It turned off on Dame, and the bell right now is ringing for Floyd. The problem is people never think the well can run dry. But see, I knew this would end this way. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it from day one. I knew it from the day he picked his nickname. Out of every great nickname that he could have chose to call himself, he chose money. My nickname is Floyd Money Mayweather. Not a name about skill, not a name about heart, a name about the one thing he was most insecure about. When your whole identity is the cash, you will burn the cash to protect the identity. So unimaginative. But Floyd has always been extremely pedestrian. Even his fights have never been exciting. Funny thing is, his bank account would be phenomenal if he treated his finances like his fights. Not too flashy or exciting, but cold, calculated, and precise. If he treated his bank account the way he treats his boxing matches, which is to be defensive, which is to not take silly risks, to operate with precision, he'd never be in financial trouble. See, the risks that Floyd takes with his money, he'd never display this type of behavior in the ring. And it's sad that he can't even see it. So now here comes the Pacquiao rematch. And everybody wants to act like it's about legacy. A man set for 10 generations doesn't lace him back up this late in his 40s for legacy. He does it for a check. And a comeback that smells like a check, that's the loudest broke signal that exists. Like, if you don't think he's broke now, I don't know what to tell you. Right? But over here, you know how we do. We hold the standard. Even on the people you were once impressed by, especially on them. Floyd Mayweather may not be a billionaire, but I promise you he's definitely spent $1 billion. And watching him fall is going to be one of the saddest things this culture has ever witnessed. You'd never catch Jerry Seinfeld doing this, flashing knots in his floor seats at a Knicks game. And trust me, that man has plenty of money because real money doesn't have to announce itself. So I'll leave you with this. If Floyd Mayweather is really still rich, then who is all that flashing actually for? Us or him? And that's the reality. Shout out to Global Intelligence Network for being a member. I appreciate you. Shout out to Hollow Ninja, said Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford, Nayo, I don't even know. I'm not even pronouncing those names. Canelo, Alvarez are all smart with their money and their families are set for eternity. Facts. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys for tuning into the show and hanging out with me. I'm about to get up out of here so I can go get some rest. I am tired as hell. Salute to the whole Beano Nation. Salute to everybody that tuned in. But I'm about to get up out of here, and I'm going to holler at you guys later. Deuces.
The session is closed. The board is dismissed.
I gave you the blueprint, now go build a estate. Stop arguing with broke, man, stop debating with fate. We don't negotiate value, we dictate the price. You watch the show for free, I just gave you a slice. But the real ones know where the equity live. We taking everything, we got nothing to give. The manual is waiting, you know where it's at. This ain't a gamble, it's a guaranteed bet.
Build, protect, lead. Go and plant the seed. Build, protect, lead. That's the code we need. Go to the side, secure the command. The Angryman Channel, the standard of the land.
TheAngrymanChannel.com.
Get the shirt, get the book.
Start watching, start working. We up.